Now I'm recording. This is Sheli Dorado Hernandez. I didn't know you were hyphenated, actually.
I am hyphenated, yes.
So you own the Clean Beauty Boutique in Illinois, right?
Yes, the suburbs of Chicago.
Ooh. And then you're a coach, a new coach for Destroy the Hairdresser. So you have all the good stuff. All right.
Yes.
So we're here to talk about becoming a specialist today. Me and Sheli, she specializes even more than I do. I specialize in color and extensions, and as do you, Sheli. Will you go into you are more of a specialist?
Well, definitely hair extensions. You know, we love us some hair, right? But it's hair loss, non-surgical hair loss solutions for women, which, you know, hair extensions just meets one part of that. So like anything temple and below, and then temple and higher. We have different crown pieces. We do hybrid extensions where we mix systems together to create customized looks for our clients. It's great. So we just pull from anything and everything. We just mix it all together and give the client specifically what their needs are. We have a solution for it.
That's amazing. So you're like the med spa of hair almost.
Yes. I consider myself, I was walking around last week Thursday, I had all this hair. I'm like a hair dealer. Like, what do you need, girl? I got it for you. Okay. Like, I have a little bit of everything.
I know. I wish there was I really would love to find someone here that does that or down the road when things settle, learn. I need to fly out to Chicago for a number of reasons to see you guys and Patricia and learn some of the things that you're doing, because I have to say no to a lot of people. But what got you into specializing in that specifically?
Well, I always had a natural love for hair extensions. I've been certified with Great Lengths Extensions for 16 plus years. And when I worked at my commission salon before I was a salon owner, I would always go to my owner and the manager. I'd be like, I love extensions. Can we specialize? Can we focus on them? And they were like, no. And I was like, come on, I just want to. And they're like, no, Sheli, you're better off if you just, stick with everything, do a little bit of everything.
Right.
And I was like, okay, they were trying to talk me into not specializing. And their thought process was, hair extensions, the trend of hair extensions come and go. If you focus on hair extensions and something happens, then, you'll lose all your clients, which we know now that that's not true. So hair extensions have been around. Cleopatra, didn't she wear hair extensions?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've been around since the beginning of time. Hair extensions are not going anywhere.
Wigs.
So when I got out of that commission salon and I found Destroy the Hairdresser and they were like, specialize, I was like, what? Somebody that actually believes that? And I went from making very low, amount of money to over 6 figures in a 1 year period. So specializing and focusing on what you love definitely brings, joy and financial freedom to your life for sure.
I think so too. And you can also, I do want to touch on this isn't we happen to both do hair extensions. You do a lot more than I do. I'm not quite ready to go full into every single type. Because I do enjoy just a color and a cut, and I specialize specifically in very textured. Obviously my hair, shags being in right now is the best thing that ever happened to me. So even even my extension guests who have chemical haircuts, it's perfect, the shag is in,
right?
But I worked at a lot of salons. I've worked in every single situation where they want you to be a jack of all trades. And we've all heard that phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. I felt like I wasn't really all that proficient in any one thing. I have my natural talents. I'm really good with redheads, and I'm really good with rich, warm brunettes. And I do blondes as well, but so I'm a color specialist, but specifically if you look at my Instagram, you will see reds and brunettes, like, and it's all warm tones. I'm not the silver, I'm not the cool tone blonde girl. This is where I say,
Yes.
I politely recommend someone else. But when I talk to stylists who are thinking about joining our team or thinking about specializing, it's interesting that they need the permission to specialize. And there is, and I still struggle with it. There's an emotional, like setback that keeps you from being able to say no to people and breaking up with a clientele in order to make space for what you specialize. I have a technique in how we do that. The way I did it was I moved across town and raised my price.
Hey, that works.
So like I decided specifically for me, like, to do extensions in color only. I got rid of, I don't offer children's cuts. I don't offer men's haircuts, although a couple of them have snuck in through our interesting situation in California, and taking care of some of my female clients and their husbands begging.
That snuck in with me too. I've had a couple of those sneak in too. Yeah.
They've snuck in and they've weaseled their way into my heart. And so, but they do know that they are, like, when I have a stylist who specializes in men's cutting or barbering, then like you're going. So
right.
They do understand that. I'm pretty transparent. I talk to my clients very openly. And like friends, but it was a difficult emotional transition for me to break up with a clientele. I've been doing hair for 20 years, and I believe you have too, right?
Yes. This is my 22nd year. In like a couple days, it'll be 22 years.
2020 is my 20th anniversary of doing hair.
Yay. What a year to be celebrating.
Right? I opened a salon in 2020.
Yes.
Such an odd time, but it's still going. We're here. But yeah, so breaking up with a clientele and transitioning into that was more emotionally hard for me. The way I did it, and I'd love for you to talk about the way you've done it, because I'm sure you have too. Like, I was at a salon that I had to take everything no matter what. It wasn't my choice. I didn't get to like have control over my business. I am an employer, so I have a team, as do you, and they have control over their business. We're not an extension only salon. I really want to have like more of a little bit of everything, a very eclectic vibe, but I do want to encourage them to specialize. And a lot of times, like, things do sneak out on the books and we handle it, but I do have that conversation, like, this isn't really in my wheelhouse. And, I'd love to recommend you to somebody else if I can. Some people insist. And I obviously don't like tell them like, no, I just don't. But, we're hourly. I know you're not, but a lot of times, like, just being in that hourly alone, like, creates a certain caliber of client that's willing to come book with you. So we do what we can to design our clientele, but transitioning to that was really difficult for me because we have joined. Hi, Patty. We have, I'm going to unmute you if you want. So breaking up with that clientele and having that conversation was really difficult for me, but doing it after I did it gave me like the best feeling of relief to be able to make room for the people I really wanted. And the way I did it was with model calls, and I just started calling in for models, and they had like a separate price point that was different.
Love it.
And all I did
Yes.
was take photos of exactly what I wanted to do. And then it started to just transpire from there. And then those models were really excited to take those photos and they shared them. And then all of a sudden, like within 6 months, less than 6 months, I was a specialist, fully booked, after getting rid of 50% of my clientele, moving across town and raising my prices significantly. It was less than 6 months. And me and my sister-in-law, who works with me, did it together. And now she's going to be moving to South Dakota and taking that, like that technique there for her and being like, she'll be in California and South Dakota specializing, and she specializes in blondes and barbering. So like cutting.
That's awesome.
So she didn't want to do, she tried extensions and then decided it wasn't for her. And I was like, okay, that's fine too. So we were able to pass each other guests, but both of us within 6 months doing model calls, taking photos, talking about that. Like the conversations with breaking up with our clients was hard. I did it in a letter and a video, just saying like, this is where I'm taking my career. I love you. And here's some recommendations. But just, I remember that I cried. Like, buddy, and I cried because
it's hard.
They were like 15 years with me.
Yes.
And I was, I mean, I was also charging whatever my community was charging. Like I didn't think in my mind for a second I could charge any more. I was already at the high end, you know, of, and I just couldn't in my mind. So tell me your story and how you did that.
Well, for me, I did mine a little bit more reactively. So I just, when I left my commission salon, I just didn't tell people that I was, the services that I didn't want to do, I just didn't tell them where I was going. I kind of just left them out. And then, which is not, I don't recommend that at all. You know, I like your way better where you're, you know, we're people pleasers. So it's hard to do it. It doesn't feel good, you know, to break up with anybody with services. So, you know, a couple people found me, you know, I kind of let a couple back, you know, and then just them seeing my growth and where I was going with my business, they naturally, for me, kind of shifted away. And I did take services out of my menu. So certain things I just don't have available for clients to book. So standalone haircuts, you know, you can't book that with me. Updos, perms. I don't even know if anybody perms anymore, but
I do not have the supplies in our salon to do that.
Yeah, I don't either. You know, and I just took those services right out. And then, you know, the girls that work for me get to pick and choose what services that they want to do. And I definitely encourage them to specialize too. So I don't think that we really have a large clipper, you know, barbering clientele here. We don't have a large short hair clientele here. It's mainly like long hair, extra hair put on right there. Yes.
So you and all of your girls are mainly extensions, and you've taught them how to specialize in like each technique.
Yes. The only ones that they really don't know how to do are the strand by strand. I have a strand by strand specialist, which we specialize in great lengths. That's a little bit longer of a certification. Yes, it's 3 days, and girls, a couple of my stylists are interested in great lengths, but it's really because of the hybrid systems that we mix, you know, hand tied with something else. So we really customize the looks for our clients.
I love that.
Yes. Yes.
I love like the community I have across, like, you know, I wish I could like send people, you know, I was like, I need that more here.
Right.
Because there's so many people I say no to, and there's, you know, there's power in that, like saying, you know, I think previously, like my old career, my old stylist career, I would just say yes and figure it out, which was awful. Like it never turned out great. You know, so the power of saying no to someone, one, like I think gains you a lot of respect and trust, because if you're like, I've had instances, like I can think of 4 in the last year that I've said no to someone, this isn't where I specialize, but that person's like referred someone else to me.
Yes.
And I was
that happens often. Yes. Because you're just being honest with them. That's not in my wheelhouse. I rather put you with somebody that loves to do this service, and I don't love to do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
in my area in particular, where my salon is at, we're close to a lot of business parks. So there's a lot of men's haircuts that call in. I am awful at them. Like, do not, like, it will take me an hour to do a men's clipper cut, and it shouldn't.
Right.
But there's a barber shop across the street that I've been like getting to know, and so I'm like, this is probably where you'd like to go. They're literally across the street. So, you know, saying no has been kind of powerful, especially like, you know, if I have someone, for me, I think it's a men's haircut is an obvious thing I don't do, but since I'm a color specialist and I say I'm a color specialist, and like say a silver blonde walks in and I'm like, I don't, this isn't gonna, or a fashion shade walks in, like, this is not for me. My palms are sweaty, and I know that, you know, so typically we have like a vetting process on our booking system. We're able to do kind of you know, the redundant questions of consultations. So I kind of know what that person is looking for. And if they're a new guest, we offer a digital, like a FaceTime consultation, or we try to reach out to them to just see what they're looking for. So we know already before the appointment if it's not a fit for us. So we do our best, but since we offer online booking, it's really like one of the techniques is just to kind of market yourself that way and hope that it goes well, but things just kind of slip through the cracks. So we do our best to try. How do you guys navigate that?
You know, we really don't get a lot of clients that aren't looking for extensions. We get a lot of extension clients. Like there's 0 vivids on my Instagram page and Facebook page, like none. Like you could scroll through and you will not find one. And when I opened up my salon, I took anything remotely close to that off.
Okay.
You know, so I specialize in blondes and brunettes, and that's all you see when you go on my Instagram. And I think that that's very important too, to like have your, you know, when you specialize, to really make that obvious on Instagram and Facebook and all the social media platforms that you're using. And, you know, it's been working for me. I mean, it did take a minute. You can't just post like one picture. It has to be a lot of pictures so people get, you know, your vibe. But for sure, like your Google and Yelp are 2 platforms too that we can't ignore. Even though we want to ignore Yelp, we can't. We have to post on Yelp. Post our pictures of our work and stuff, and it definitely, once you start putting that energy out there in the universe, it comes back to you. You know, it really does. But you have to work on it. You can't just do it once or twice. Like you have to keep on with it. For sure.
I can absolutely tell how someone finds me typically, based off of Google or Instagram. Everything I do, I try to stay on Instagram. It's the least toxic.
For sure. Least triggering
social media platform there is. But yeah, I think like doing like the best thing I can recommend to anyone is just keep doing model calls. I had a mass exodus on my books recently, and I'm actually excited about it. I have spots to fill, and that hasn't happened in a long time. And a lot of the reason is because my clientele was full of photographers and other hairdressers and small business owners who have been affected the most. So one of the things like that's really, really important about specializing is to know that people are being extremely more cognizant of where they spend their money. And that's why I love that you're like, you were so loud, clean beauty boutique too. And that's another thing that's like, another niche specialty is being a clean, organic, boutique. Like people go there because we're now more cognizant of what we're putting on our bodies and what we're absorbing into our skin and having a healthier lifestyle. So that's one thing with Lifted, like we're in a very active area. My back patio is right on the bike trail, and like we really try to like talk about that stuff too. And you inspire me a lot with that. But I am having to rebuild my clientele again, and it's actually kind of fun. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I'm a little bit of, I like that. I like to kind of reinvent a little bit. So now I'm excited once I get through some of like the backlog to do some model calls and really get some really cool like cuts and colors in the way that I want them. So
that's awesome.
I'm excited, but I think specializing is incredibly important when you're recognizing that people aren't spending their money the same anymore. I think millennials were already like wanting to be conscientious of where they spent their money before, and now it's even more. But so is self-care is so much more important. Like I take care of a lot of nurses, and that's all they want. They just want to be taken care of. And so,
Right.
you know, and they want to be taken care of really well and know that like they're going to trust the artist that they can go to, whether it's extensions, a cut, color, whatever it is. Like right now we have an even more heightened importance to that. So
Absolutely.
go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing that I love about specializing is that there's no, and I'm sure you too, like when we were coming up, somebody always wanted a hairstylist with experience, right? Like I want a hairstylist with at least, 10 years experience, 6 years experience. Well, now specialists, you don't need those years of experience in the industry. You just need, your natural talent, and that's it. And that's what clients are looking for. They're not looking for it now. Those years.
I agree more. Like, I don't think me being like 20 years in doesn't mean anything anymore.
Nothing. No. It might actually hurt you.
I know.
It might actually not be good.
Like, I'm a dinosaur. Don't mind me.
I know. Like I just learned how to balayage. I didn't come out of school balayage.
Oh my God. Still, like balayaging is the one thing that I'm like, I foil and do a balayage in between. I'm still not a balayage artist. I don't get it. But
right.
I follow, and like I've been these stylists coming right out of beauty school are incredible what they can do. That is not what I looked like when I came in.
Me neither.
Awful. But
I couldn't even do a touch-up. I know, it's crazy.
We have online education like this, and so like anyone can do like learn color techniques really easy. I think what's missing is things like this, where it's like mindset and business, and like that's where like we need to come. I wish the importance of that, and now also like the PBA, the Professional Beauty Federation, and people who lobby for your business is also important. But anyway, I just hired a girl who's had her license for a year, and I'm like, what? Like, this is like, I'll send you her Instagram, but I was like, a year? That's it? Like,
yes.
So they're really, really talented. They come out as specialists, and that's what's so cool. When I came out of beauty school, I had to do everything, and everything was awful. Now they go out of beauty school and they've already focused, like they're really, really, really good at this one type of highlight. And then instead of coming out and being terrified to do hair in a salon and having to accept everything, we can create that environment where it's like, okay, you are really good at this. Let's do this and do model calls for these other things while you shadow me, and we're not offering that. And that is okay. So it's less terrifying coming out of school these days, because
I totally agree.
You
don't have to be a barber. You don't have to do an updo.
Yeah.
You don't have to do extensions, only if you want to. You can do balayage, lived in bronze all day long if you want to, and that's okay.
Yeah. And you can make what you want to.
Absolutely.
That's the cool
Which
thing.
is amazing too, right? As hairstylists, you can make what you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what being a specialist really, really does give you a lot more financial freedom, but it's more the mindset behind it. So before we end, I would like you to just kind of like touch on like how you coach and what you do for Destroy the Hairdresser for people wanting to maybe have someone that would push them into doing these really uncomfortable things.
Yes. Well, I specialize in conscious branding. So really finding your brand consciously. I own, like you said, a clean organic salon, and like really putting, it's vegan, making sure that you have the consciousness, behind your salon, really to be right with the universe before you open up. That's truly my passion. And all mindset work, like how to get to the place where you can specialize and you can say no to clients. That's mindset is everything. Yeah, it really is. That is. And that's me. That's what I love. I love the branding. I love the marketing. and getting your mind right to do it all.
You're
Thank you so much for having me. This
yeah.
was fun.
Thank you.
Yay, I'm so excited you get to open too. Yay.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. My space is just like, it was so sad going in there and watering. The plants were sad.
Aww.
So I was like, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to give you positive affirmations. Please grow. Like,
yes. Aw. And you know, when you get back in there, they're gonna totally just like explode, like my plants did. They're so again.
Yeah, I'm excited. Do you have a Majesty palm, by the way? Is that what that is?
Is that what that's called? I don't even know. I have this.
Mine aren't happy.
What is that? Is that it?
No, the other one by your other station.
That let me see here. Let me flip it around. Let me flip this. That one over there?
I think.
Is that it?
I don't know. I think I bought the wrong ones.
Okay. Oops, that's my little camera. I just buy whatever I think's pretty.
I noticed they need a lot of water and positive words.
Yes. I tell them all the time that they're pretty and that I love them. And they've had lots of babies. They're growing. They're having all these shoots come up. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I love everything that you do. And so it's
thank you.
Sheli for Clean Beauty. What's your Instagram?
Yep, it's Sheli for Clean Beauty with the number 4.
That's right.
So Sheli, the number 4, Clean Beauty.
And then Clean Beauty Boutique.
Yes. Sheli for Clean Beauty and the Clean Beauty Boutique. Yes.
Well, thank you for talking about that.
Thank you.
And actually, people learned to shift their mind a little bit around having permission.
I hope so too.
All right, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.